The sun had only begun to rise above the pines of a sleepy Georgia highway when the sirens came alive behind him. Red and blue lights flashed angrily in his rearview mirror. Jamal Rivers glanced at the cruiser tailing his black Chevy Tahoe and sighed. He'd known it was coming. His skin always turned the air electric in towns like this. He slowed, turned on his blinker, and pulled over to the gravel shoulder. The tires crunched as the SUV settled. His heart rate stayed steady. This wasn't his first roadside rodeo, and it likely wouldn't be the last. But this time was different. He was back in Georgia for one reason only, and the man pulling up behind him was unknowingly standing at the edge of a cliff. The door to the patrol car opened. Out stepped a tall, pale man in a broad-brimmed hat, thick, mirrored sunglasses hiding his eyes. He adjusted his belt, exaggerated his stride as he walked up, and already Jamal could feel the tension build like a coiled spring. Jamal lowered his window. "License and registration," the cop said without introduction. No good morning. No, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Jamal looked up calmly. "Was there a reason for the stop, officer?" "Don't ask me questions, boy. You give me your papers or you get yanked out that truck." His voice dripped with disdain. "This your vehicle?" Jamal let the silence hang for a moment. His hand moved slowly, purposefully. From the glove box he retrieved a thick black leather case, clipped shut with a brass button. He held it between both palms, then opened it gently, like revealing scripture. The badge inside gleamed in the morning sun. Gold, heavy, laced in silence and authority. And beside it, the Federal Warrant. The officer's voice caught halfway between a breath and a curse. "What the hell is this?" "You asked for ID. There's my badge, Deputy U.S. Marshal. As for the registration, that truck is owned by the Department of Justice." The cop's hand lingered near his holster, not drawing, not yet, but twitching like his ego had been slapped across the face. "You're a marshal?" "That's right." "What you doing out here in Clayton County?" "That's classified. You want details, get a supervisor. Until then," he lifted the warrant, "what you can do is read this, because I have official business in this county, and you just interrupted a federal operation." Jamal leaned out the window slightly, his dark eyes now cold. "Congratulations, you just escalated it." The officer didn't take the warrant. He just stared at Jamal's face, his black face, as though trying to disassemble the reality in front of him. His mouth opened, then closed. He stepped back instinctively, but his tone turned defensive. "You think you can just roll in here flashing that badge like you own the place?" "No, sir," Jamal said slowly, his voice iron smooth. "This jurisdiction, it's under investigation, and this stop, you just made yourself part of my case." The cop's voice cracked. "You threatening me?" "No, but the Department of Justice will be calling you, and your body cam footage, assuming it hasn't conveniently malfunctioned, will be submitted as evidence." The cop sputtered. I don't have to—" Jamal raised a finger. "Careful. Anything else you say might just add another charge." The officer backed away, turned too quickly, and stormed back to his cruiser without another word. The tires spun as he sped off in humiliation.
Jamal exhaled. It had begun. Clayton County was like 1,000 other places in the South, a mix of Waffle House diners, church marquees, and good old boys who still believed they ran the world. But underneath the grits and gospel was a rot. Decades of abuse, sealed records, and minorities who disappeared into jail cells without fair trials. It was why Jamal had returned. Not as a tourist, not as a victim, but as a reckoning. Because 22 years ago, his brother Malik had vanished from a county holding cell. Picked up for a misdemeanor, never made it to trial, and according to the records, never existed. Their mother had died waiting for answers. Their father turned alcoholic trying to find the truth. Jamal was 16. Now he was 42, battle-hardened by tours in Iraq, hardened further by years of climbing through the ranks of U.S. law enforcement. He'd worked joint task forces, cracked trafficking rings, and brought down cartels. And now, finally, he had a warrant that gave him the keys to Clayton County's darkest corners. He checked in to the Hampton Inn under a burner name, scanned the room, then set up a rolling command post with a DOJ-issued laptop and encrypted sat phone. He opened the warrant again. It was signed by the Atlanta District Court, sealed with federal authority. Subject: investigation into the disappearance of Malik Rivers 2003. Scope: local law enforcement collusion, potential RICO violations, civil rights abuses. He read it 3 times. Then, like clockwork, his phone buzzed. "Marshal Rivers?" a woman's voice asked. "Speaking. This is ADA Karen Marsh from Atlanta. I've been assigned to assist you. We're coordinating access to county records, but be advised, some files were destroyed in a flood back in 2007. Jamal smirked. "Convenient. You're walking into a hornet's nest. Are you armed?" "Always." "Stay careful. Sheriff Maynard has been in power for over 25 years. He runs that county like a plantation. He's got friends in every corner." "That's fine. I'm not here to make friends." He hung up. The next day, Jamal walked into the Clayton County Sheriff's Office with his badge openly displayed. The receptionist, a redhead in her early 20s, looked up, startled. "I need access to inmate logs from 2003, he said flatly. She blinked. I'll get the captain." Captain, not sheriff. Maynard wasn't in. Jamal followed a stiff-faced sergeant into a windowless records room. Dust, stale coffee, and the clink of keys greeted him. "Everything's in there," he said, "except the missing years." "You mean the years you burned?" The sergeant narrowed his eyes. "You accusing us of something, Marshal?" Jamal smiled. "Not yet." The man turned and left. Jamal went to work. He scanned handwritten logs, typed printouts and old rosters. Then, tucked deep behind a cabinet, he found it, an old shift sheet with initials, M.R., Malik Rivers, and next to it a transfer signature, W. Huxley. He froze. That name had haunted him for decades. Deputy William Huxley, the same one who arrested Malik, the same one who swore under oath that the boy was released with a warning, except no one had ever seen him again. Jamal copied the document, scanned it into his encrypted drive, then made a call. "ADA Marsh?" "Yes?" "I just found proof Huxley signed Malik's transfer. I'm going to find him." "Be careful," she said quickly. "Huxley left the force in '05, worked security at some junkyard out near Red Line Road, off-the-books job." "Not for long." Jamal left the building with the weight of years on his shoulders. The sun was hotter now. The town looked the same as it had in 2003. Clean lawns, grinning white faces, and the same undercurrent of menace. The junkyard was 20 minutes away. Rusted cars, rotting tires, and barking dogs greeted him. Huxley was sitting on a plastic chair by a fire barrel, sipping beer from a can.
Jamal stepped out. Huxley looked up. "Can I help you?" "You remember Malik Rivers?" Huxley stiffened. "Who the hell are you?" "His brother." Jamal flipped open his badge. Huxley paled. Then he laughed. "You think I'm scared of some badge? That case is closed. Kid ran off, never came back."
No, Jamal said. You signed him over. You handed him off to someone who made sure he vanished. You got no proof. I've got your signature. Huxley stood. You don't know what you're poking at, boy. I know enough, like the fact you were on Maynard's payroll off the books. You and 7 others. I've got a list now, and I'm going to put every one of you in a box. You threatening me? No, just giving you the courtesy my brother never got. Huxley's hand twitched toward his waistband. Jamal's Glock was already drawn. Don't, he warned. I'm not a scared 16-year-old anymore. I'm a federal officer, and I will shoot to stop you. Huxley froze. Talk, Jamal said. Now. And slowly, like a dam breaking after decades of silence, the truth began to spill out. William Huxley didn't break easily. Men like him never did. But guilt, especially the kind that festers for decades, eats at a man until his spine turns to powder. And when a federal badge stares him down and the barrel of a gun aligns with that guilt, even the most hardened cowards start to crack. It wasn't supposed to happen like that, he muttered, sweat glistening at his temples despite the cool shade. We was just supposed to teach him a lesson, just a scare, nothing more. Tell me everything, Jamal said, his voice like steel pulled from fire. Huxley wiped his hands on his jeans, cracked his knuckles, and started speaking. Malik had been arrested for a minor trespassing charge, cutting through a construction site on his way home. He was booked, left in the cell, but that night, Sheriff Maynard gave an order. No paperwork, no prints. Ghost the kid, he said. Make him disappear. They called it the Hunt Club. Unofficial, off the record. Started in '99. Every few months they'd pull a black kid off the street. Said it was deterrence, that if the law couldn't fix things, fear would. Some of us, we thought it was just intimidation. Drop him in the woods, leave him to walk back. But not my brother, Jamal finished, voice razor sharp. Huxley nodded. Maynard and his cousin Earl took him. After I signed the sheet, I never saw him again. Jamal stood silently. Fury swirled through him, but his training kept his hand steady. Where? East of Red Line, old hunting cabin, way out in the swamps. Coordinates. Jamal forced Huxley to draw a rough map. Then he called it in. ADA Marsh, I have location coordinates. I want backup. You got it. Troopers are en route. FBI's been waiting for this. Jamal ended the call and looked down at Huxley. You're coming with me. No way, I didn't touch the kid. I was just... You're an accessory to murder, Huxley. You're coming. The SUV tore through back roads and gravel until the forest swallowed the path. The GPS blinked uncertainly. They reached a rusted gate, half covered in vines. Beyond it, a trail of tire marks. It was just like Jamal remembered. The piney scent, the thick humidity, the eerie silence. You sure this is it? Huxley trembled. Yeah. Jamal stepped out, weapon drawn. The cabin was collapsed in parts. Moss and rot had claimed its walls, but beneath the floorboards, Jamal found a trapdoor, wooden, recently disturbed. He pried it open. The stench hit like a hammer. Mold, death, history. Below, a root cellar, chains, dried blood, and bones. Too many bones. Some of them still had fabric clinging to them, shirts, scraps of sneakers. One of them wore a black hoodie with a yellow stitched M. Malik's hoodie. Jamal knelt slowly.
For a moment, the marshal vanished, and the boy returned. The boy who'd watched his older brother walk off in handcuffs, never to return. The boy who screamed into a deaf system until his voice cracked. The boy who had to bury hope with silence. And then, that boy burned. He stood, silent as the squad cars arrived. Marshals, FBI, forensics. Huxley was cuffed and shoved into the back of a car, eyes down. Sheriff Maynard, Jamal asked the FBI agent. Already in custody. His cousin, too. RICO charges are stacking. Your badge just blew the lid off an entire operation. You did it. Jamal didn't reply. The next few weeks unfolded like wildfire. The media descended. Federal investigation reveals county-wide cover-up. Families came forward, parents of missing teens, survivors who'd stayed silent out of fear. Jamal's team uncovered files hidden in basements, jail ledgers forged with fake names, even payments made to deputies under the table to keep the hunt club running. It wasn't just racial profiling. It was a system of abduction. ADA Marsh led the prosecution team with fire in her eyes. Huxley testified, so did 2 other retired deputies in exchange for reduced sentences. And when Sheriff Maynard took the stand, unrepentant and defiant, Jamal sat in the front row, arms folded. The courtroom was packed with families, black, brown, and white, united not by race, but by the scars Maynard had left behind. The verdict came swiftly. Guilty on all counts. Maynard would die in prison. At the memorial site outside Clayton County, a new plaque was installed. In memory of the silenced, never again. Jamal stood beneath it, holding the ashes of his brother's remains. DNA had confirmed the bones. A full funeral followed. National headlines mourned him. Senators reached out. The president issued a statement. But none of it brought Malik back. Still, Jamal didn't seek comfort. He didn't need it. He had justice. That was enough. As he turned to leave, a reporter shouted, "Marshal Rivers, any comment on what comes next?" Jamal paused. He looked back at the town where a racist cop had once demanded his license, only to receive a warrant instead. He walked to the camera, removed his shades, and looked directly into the lens. Justice doesn't come from a badge. It comes from courage, and I'm just getting started. He walked away, and the badge on his chest gleamed like a blade in sunlight.